Maybe they should know that too. What do you think?
I mean, it's opera research. It's what you do for your um, political opponents. You dig up stuff and then you put it in the streets.
But
But I'm not a political opponent. I'm a private citizen. I'm a private person.
Yeah.
I'm not your political opponent. So, we're
But
going to
how
have a
that
problem.
was-
And that's the thing. In
Yeah.
politics, when you do that to somebody, they're not going to turn around and they can't sue you. Because that's part of the game. When you do it to somebody as a, an attempt to destroy who they are and their business, that becomes a tort. That's literally a tort.
Yep.
It's illegal to try to destroy someone's business.
So we've had a lot of discussion about how things started, how it got to where it is today, and we finished off with the fact that the professional visitation privileges were revoked. This was key to getting Selepri back into sheriff's office on the day when this all blew up, right?
Yes.
How did they get you there? What happened?
Oh man. So we know that in December of 2016, December 1st of 2016 is when Sheriff Schmidt responded to Mr. Klomberg, which means that Mr. Klomberg had reached out to him about cutting this off.
So what did Sheriff Schmidt say in his response?
He said, I'm just letting you know that I've spoken with the jail staff and we've cut out his professional visits.
Okay, so he just let that be known to the district attorney.
Which is interesting. So, somebody doesn't get jail visits. Why do you need to tell the district attorney
Maybe he
that?
tells the district attorney every time
Maybe
that
he
happens,
does.
right?
Maybe he tells them some cool stuff,
Cut him a little slack, huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe they do Legos together.
Oh boy.
Oh, so anyway, so here we go in December of 2016. He tells the district attorney that he's cut off my jail visits. So they're obviously in something together. You're almost kind of, you're in a place where it's hard not to go, oh, they're not in something together. So, it's, if I called you and I said, hey, my lawn, I finally got it mowed. That would imply
I must have complained about something.
that
there,
you
huh?
either knew that my lawn needed to be mowed,
Yeah.
and somehow you knowing that my lawn was mowed settled something between us, or gave you some information, or maybe you were offering me a lawnmower because you were like, dude, your lawn needs to
You
be
must
mowed.
need one, right?
Right,
Yeah,
and then I was
yeah.
like, hey, my lawn needed to be, my lawn got mowed, and you'd be like, oh, okay, because I'm not just gonna walk around down the street yelling, my lawn is mowed, my lawn is mowed. He told him that he took my professional visits for a reason,
Yeah.
because there was something going on.
Okay.
I mean, it's just, you can't get, oh, well, yes, it's speculative, but, what else are you going to speculate? So, at the end of the day, In December of 2016, the jail visits went, December 1st. Now, 2 months later, all of a sudden it's, hey, you want to come in and let's talk about, the jail visits. And it's like, wait a minute. Okay. 2 months later, he hires Newman, an investigator,
Okay.
under the pretense that they're investigating me being able to have jail visits. So the question...
Well, wait. They took him away already.
Exactly.
Oh, but now they're going to figure out if they should have?
That's what it's weird, okay? Yeah. So you tell the district attorney it's done. Mm-hmm. Why do you need to hire a private investigator to now figure out whether I should have jail visits or not?
Okay.
It's weird.
Okay.
So then this guy, it takes him 2 weeks. Takes him 2 weeks to make this report. And he comes up with all this stuff, including finding somebody with the same last name that I have, different birth date, different social security number, and that had gotten into trouble in the state of Iowa, okay? And then saying that was an alias of mine. It's...
Okay, so that's where that...
I can't say your last name. How do you say your last name?
Sigmund.
Sigmund.
Nope, no D on it.
No D.
M-A-N-N.
Just
Sigmund.
Sigmund.
Yes.
That's like finding somebody named Sigmund who robbed a bank in Nebraska.
I know someone with my name, Daniel Sigmund, that lives in New York. Well, I don't know him,
so
but I looked them up, so they're there.
So Daniel Sigmund,
yes.
Let's even just say that's even the same name.
Yes.
Let's just go with this situation where they don't even have the same first name.
Right.
Okay. It's Monty. We'll call him Monty Sigmund.
Okay.
And he lives in Nebraska, and he robbed a bank. And the sheriff here decides he's going to do an investigation into you and tells the public that you used the alias of Monty Sigmund and robbed a bank in Nebraska.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely preposterous.
Pretty far reach. Yeah.
Yeah. So we get to that point. Water.
H2O. Got your minerals in there?
No minerals. It's all clear.
You got to get your minerals in there.
It's not red like yours.
We don't ever get off script, do we?
I mean, people are people. This is when I sit down with district attorneys, with sheriffs, with probation officers, with pastors, with anybody, FBI directors, anybody that crosses my path that I work with. This is how it goes, I mean, yes, there's business at hand, but at the end of the day, it's all about relationship. Mm-hmm. We build relationships, and that's how we become a community. And this is kind of part of that. This is letting the community know that there was a problem in the community. And that's why I'm here, because I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
So this Newman went and found your alias.
My
And you were accused of all kinds of stuff.
Not even a doppelganger, but yeah.
Yeah.
Accused of some crazy stuff.
Okay.
But we got all those police reports.
Did you?
We went through the University of Iowa and Iowa State Police, and we found all of that stuff, and we put it together so that when we presented the case and we said that they were giving false information to the federal government and false information to the public, we could prove it.
Okay.
I mean, you have to be able to do that.
All there, yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't you.
No.
Oh boy. So I'm sure that then that wasn't a problem anymore. They wouldn't hold that over your head then anymore, right?
Oh, well, you would think.
Yeah.
So
that's the stuff they had on you when you came to visit the sheriff to see about visitation privileges.
Well, it wasn't really about visitation privileges.
Oh, it wasn't?
No.
No, come on. He's an honest guy.
No.
Oh, come on.
So what happened was there were some conversations that happened behind the scenes. So more than 20 years ago, back in 2000, actually it was 1999. Like, as I said before, The same with my students. I struggled with drugs and alcohol, and people who struggle with drugs and alcohol tend to get into trouble. And
Seems so, yeah.
I mean,
It's too bad,
it's
yeah.
just going to happen.
Yeah.
It is unfortunate, but it's something that happens, with that. So I had gotten myself into some trouble, gone to jail, and it turned out that the drug charges that I had for the possession of narcotics that I had, the state of Illinois felt like that was deportable
Okay.
because I was born in Liberia.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So I ended up going through an immigration process, and around 2007, in 2006, okay, the Supreme Court said that my drug offense was not deportable.
Because the state's jurisdiction was different than the federal
Correct.
jurisdiction. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
So I mean, it's super simple. When you put it together, it's really simple.
So the federal government trumped the state government and said,
Correct.
"No, you're wrong. This is what we control, and that's why it is
Correct.
not deportable." Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Or else you would have states deporting people for different things, and it's like the whole thing that's going on with marijuana. Now they gave it to the states,
Right.
and
right,
the
right,
federal
right.
government is losing their minds because because technically they could still go in and arrest people and take their stuff. So but
So when that Supreme Court case came down, did that change your
oh yeah.
situation?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
to put it simply, okay, there was a judge that made an order that said, based on if the states have jurisdiction over immigration, okay, if the states have jurisdiction, then okay, it's deportable.
Yeah.
So he was like, based on that, I guess I have to say that it's deportable. But what I want you to do is I want you to appeal that decision, because they already knew that the statute that fell under, that the
Yeah.
states were in control,
Yeah.
was being looked at by the Supreme Court.
Would be challenged maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
It was challenged in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court struck it down.
So that judge followed his state law, but said you should appeal this because it's going to be probably overturned
Yes.
over here. Okay.
They knew. They
Yeah,
knew that
yeah.
there was the challenge happening.
Gotcha.
So hence, he was like, okay, you keep doing what you're doing and let them decide what they're doing. And when they figure out what they're doing, you come back to court and we'll figure this out.
And when it's under appeal, then it's like held in abeyance. It's on.
Well, not only is it under appeal, is it held in abeyance, but there was also an order called a stay that
Yeah.
also held it in abeyance that actually made it legitimate.
So it was really solid that this is on hold.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it got lost.
Not by the federal government.
Sadly enough, yes.
Okay. So it was in that state for how long?
10 years.
Really?
It's all,
Wow.
again, right.
No wonder people get mixed up as far as what's really going on here.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, in a nutshell,
And that had happened, and that was the environment you entered the sheriff's office in on that day
Right.
in 2017.
right.
Okay.
So, in a nutshell, to make it clear so people can kind of grasp and understand, you've got a county entity, okay,
Yes.
that thought they could do something about a federal issue, told the federal government some things that weren't true in order to entice them to come take a look at this
Take
guy.
a look at this guy.
And when the federal government came in, what we need, you keep saying we need discovery. This is one of the things that we're asking for in discovery. Because we have the whole puzzle. We see the picture,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
But there's some pieces that we still need to put in to make it a complete picture.
Okay. Okay.
And this is one of those pieces, this piece of conversation. Because when you gave information to the federal government that was untrue, and then the federal government, the ICE officer,
Yeah.
says, okay, what I'm going to do is I'll come and arrest him if everything checks out.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
But then, after the lawsuit was filed, that same officer wrote a letter to the court saying that I didn't check anything out. I just made the decision on my own. And what we're thinking is that one of two things happened. Either he was in it with them and just was like, yeah, sure, I'll do you a solid, you know. But the other thing is that he completely tried to manipulate this situation because the guy Crean, okay, he is the supervisor, or we assume he's the supervisor for the Wisconsin field office. His supervisor would be in the Illinois, Chicago field office.
Okay.
So if he knew he had to check something out, he said, let me check this out, he was going to check it out with his supervisor.
Because you got that email where he said that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I saw that. Yeah.
And then, so if you checked it out with your supervisor would then have gone to your attorneys, who were the U.S. attorneys, and said, okay, we got this case, there's this thing going on in Dodge County.
Yeah.
What's going on with this guy?
They should have been able to discover your status, right?
I mean, it was pretty,
Yeah.
we didn't have any trouble finding
it.
all the
Okay.
paperwork.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know, it was pretty right out in the open.